Hello, my name is Russell Myers. Welcome to Issues Unite. So I have been meaning to make this video for some time. The original title was going to be The Effect of Music on Emotions, but over time I've realized that, it goes well beyond just music. There's a lot more to this. You know, so the original concept was, legend has it that subwoofers were first used by the Nazis during speeches and rallies. Whether true or not, the point is still the same. Subwoofers are a major example of media being used to manipulate emotions, to designed to implement emotional and social conditioning. All right. You think of the ways that subwoofers have been used in media. In the 1970s, there was a movie producer named Irwin Allen that made disaster movies. And he came up with this system that was installed in theaters at the time called Sensurround. And they were large subwoofers that were placed around the theaters that would send out this low, rumbling, noise that would vibrate your seats. And this was used during different movies that he made, like Earthquake and Roller Coaster and so forth and so on. And the effect on the audience was people would react with genuine fear. They knew they were in a theater. They knew they were completely safe, and yet that fear was there for many people. You think about it, but subwoofers are used so much more widely today, and a lot of it is, with music that has lyrics that are aggressive and, and what this does is it incites your fight or flight response. That low rumbling, it affects your amygdala directly. You think about what kind of reaction you have if you hear a rumbling or an explosive sound, loud noise, sudden noises, etc. Well, you can think about if you are subjecting your nervous system to this kind of stimulus on a regular basis. What is it going to do? You're conditioning your own nervous system, your own thought processes to always be in that fight or flight response. But it goes beyond that. You turn on the news, turn on media, turn on entertainment, TV, movies. How many, in one evening of television, how many gunshots do you hear? How many representations of violence, rape, imminent threats? The whole world is going to be destroyed. And I'm not saying anything against that. I love disaster movies. I love horror movies. But I never lose sight of the fact that this is, entertainment. This is fiction. This is not happening. I don't put myself emotionally in there. It is entertainment. You look at so much in the media, the violent heroes. There's no diplomacy involved. There's no talking down the threat, there's nothing like that going on. You turn on the news on a daily basis, you look at social media, and it's always something to get you emotionally riled up. We look at things like homeless and poverty portrayed as normal. It's that person's fault. And so many Americans actually adhere to this mindset. Charity is good, and systemic change, they're afraid of systemic change. Oh my God, that's socialism. Why can't we, instead of charity, which we pay for, if Walmart, Kroger, anybody, any corporation gives to charity, you're paying for it. You pay for it in the form of higher prices. You pay for it in terms of lower wages to the employees, many of whom are the recipients of charity. Yeah. The vast majority of Americans have been conditioned to react emotionally rather than think critically. You react to fear, all the buzzwords. All of Russiagate was emotional conditioning. Always people being hit daily, hourly with this, Russian threat. Now people are being conditioned. Well, we were hit with being afraid, of North Korea. Then that basically disappeared. Iran. Oh, be afraid of Iran. And where's that now? And now it's China. These threats come and go, and yet they pile up emotionally and weigh on people that don't stop and examine it. Now, with all of Russiagate, for the entirety of Russiagate, I was arguing against it and demanding evidence. The people that react emotionally never demanded evidence. And when they were faced with the Mueller report, they never read the Mueller report. They read reports, opinion pieces, or listened to Rachel Maddow. And then, when Congress started started trying to impeach Trump, where was Russiagate then? Because the Mueller report was already out. Mueller had already testified in front of Congress. If there was anything there, why wasn't it used? Because it wasn't there. They had nothing to use, but people just reacted to it and reacted to it and reacted to it on a daily basis. They got their fear. It became an addiction. And that's what this is. It is emotion. It is not only emotional conditioning, it is emotional addiction to fear, to anger, to offense. And when you suggest solutions to these problems, suggest diplomacy, no, we need weapons. You suggest socialist programs, socialist leaning programs, increase wages. So many Americans will, look down on people that receive welfare, public support, social support. And yet, then you talk about increasing wages. And they don't want to do that. Oh, no, that's socialism. Oh, that will increase prices. It doesn't. Never mind the evidence from other countries where the oligarchs are more controlled. Ours are not controlled at all. Does Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos, do they live in Europe? No. And why? You know, you look at Jack Ma over in China, and they act like he's been wronged. No, he was just controlled. And that's not going to happen here. If we talk about increasing taxes on the extremely wealthy, some Americans will defend that. They're never going to be in that position, but they're going to defend that. Oh, no, that'll increase my taxes. No, it won't. Do you make $400,000 a year or more? No. If you impose a wealth tax, is that going to affect you when they're talking about taxing something above $100 million? 99.9% of Americans don't have $100 million and never will. But they're going to fight in favor of the people that are suppressing their own wages. And then they're going to turn on their television and read all about how China's a threat, even though China doesn't have any weapons aimed at the continental United States. Even though we have warships in the South China Sea where they don't belong. You know, oh no, we need to be afraid of them. No, we don't. China and Russia are not a threat to us. Venezuela is not a threat to us. Iran is not a threat to us. Syria is not a threat to us. But people are always just fixated on this emotional response. And it goes from, the news to the entertainment media to the music, that Americans are always in this fight or flight, emotional, ramped up condition. And look at the critical race theory and how so many people are getting conservatives are getting all worked up about critical race theory. Critical race theory is not being taught in public schools. It is a graduate level law school curriculum, and it's not even mandatory. It is not being taught in our schools. What our children should be taught is actual American history, what a monster that, Columbus was, slavery, Jim Crow. In Texas school textbooks, they actually changed the text about slavery to say that these were slaves were voluntary migrant workers. But the conservatives don't want that taught, because it brings up very uncomfortable conversations. We need to have those conversations. And these conversations are going to continue and going to expand. It doesn't matter what your emotional conditioning is. The people that do look at things critically are going to continue putting the information out there, like myself. And you can keep on reacting emotionally, but we're going to keep pushing you further and further into your echo chambers. And more people are going to be leaving your echo chambers as they actually, hear the actual truth. So, if you engage in emotionally conditioning yourself, stop doing that. Look at what you're doing to yourself. And by the way, when you emotionally condition enough individuals and turn it into a mass thing, it's social conditioning. We are conditioned as a society to emotionally react instead of think and ask questions and demand answers. We need to change that. We have to change that at the individual level. Before we can take it to the societal level, we have to address it within ourselves. Stop wanting to be afraid. Stop wanting to be angry. Stop rejecting the solutions that are being put forth because you're afraid of the solutions. You're afraid of the problem. You're afraid of the solution. Where does it end? All right. So share this video. Talk about these subjects. Think about it. If you can, please donate $1 a month to help expand the channel, and I'll catch you in the next one. Have a good day.